Camila Cabello, Romance. I mean, we were talking Camila last year with debut album since leaving Fifth Harmony, which
Mhm.
crazy that she was in Fifth Harmony and then 21 releasing her first album. Like she's been around for a while and still very young.
She was out the door with Fifth Harmony for a while,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that first album, Camilla, I think that was a bit of a surprise, like in a good way. I think it kind of turned some heads about the kind of talent because again, usually what happens when groups break up is they feel artistically reined in. We'll probably see more of that with Harry Styles this coming Friday, but she actually, showed us, I think, a lot of other sides that just weren't part of being in a group of five, pop group of five. And obviously Havana was a massive juggernaut song released a few months before the album, but I mean, that's got like over 1 billion views on YouTube at this point, massive song. And even if it's like, I think it's a much more conventional song than people think. People think, oh, here's dipping into the Cuban roots and bringing Spanish stuff to the mainstream US. I don't know if it's quite that profound, but it's a banger song, and that's good enough for me, right?
Absolutely.
And honestly, I was excited for this follow-up just because I was really high on that album, and other songs like in the Dark and Into It, lots of cool album cuts on that. But leading up to the second one, Romance, which I mean, the title was only out for a few months, and we didn't know these were lead-up singles until a while after they came out. And it was like, I just did not have the same level of anticipation for this album. And I think part of that was the lead single this time is Senorita with Shawn Mendes, her now boyfriend. And I just don't like Senorita at all. So I was really not excited. Yeah.
You don't like Senorita?
I think it's very bland.
Yeah, I mean it's a pop song. Shawn Mendes, man, it's what you get from Shawn Mendes,
right? I guess the other thing too. It's like they were friends for so long that I just refuse to believe they are actually dating, and now they're actually dating. It's like enough already. When you perform this song, just please kiss. Everyone's tired of the anxiety.
Camila, I think, continues on this album to do what you talked about in that first album, which is I think showing a little bit more of her range in this. There's some very interesting production choices in some of these songs, like the second track, Living Proof. I don't even really know how to describe the beginning. It's like there's like a tape being played in reverse, and then it comes in with all these different clicks to kind of create the beat in a way around it, and it's very I don't know, experimental almost in a way, not something I would have ever expected on a Camila album. And I think it's successful in terms of crafting a song to varying degrees, but still, I give her props for trying. And then she kind of goes all over the map, right? She still got some of the bangers on here. My Oh My with DaBaby, which when he comes in with the "Let's go," I was like, yes, DaBaby is fucking killing it this year.
He's on the Quavo 2017 run. Every feature he can possibly do, just securing all the bags, but also doing a really good job.
Yep, he's killing it.
Fun to see.
But then you have Liar, which kind of calls back to that Havana vibe, the Cuban Hispanic type feel to it. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have a song like First Man, which is a ballad song about her father, fairly generic, father-daughter song, I feel like, but still you see her trying to reach different depths of her artistry, which I think is great. But again, I think it's done to varying effects on this album, but still, when she wants to crank out a banger, she can crank out a banger.
Yeah, I think creatively this is kind of more of the same. She doesn't really take that many risks. It's kind of doing a lot of the same stuff from the Havana playbook, and then the switch up to the slow stuff, but it's not anything we haven't really seen her do before. And that's okay if the songwriting is a little better. But I think ultimately the songwriting is so kind of singular focused on just being fucking super in love with Shawn Mendes, and everything leading up to that, just even more top level, just love and adoration. It's just when it's that focused on that theme, the writing hasn't really elevated it. So I didn't like this as much as the first album, but I think there's really good moments where I'm like, this is the edge I want to see more of. Songs like "Cry for Me," um, just kind of a different vocal delivery, but also a much different beat. And even "My Oh My," with Quavo with the baby aside, that's a Frank Dukes beat, and hearing her do that is really cool. But yeah, like Liars again, that's the Havana playbook, but not quite to the same level, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fine. I just wish there was a little more edge or a little more attempt to raise the ceiling on this one. I just don't think it gets there.
Yeah, it's funny because outside of My Oh My, I think the best song that she's released, or best track she's been on in this month, has been on the Casey Musgraves Christmas album, where her and Casey Musgraves sing "Rock Around the Christmas Tree" together. So, maybe not her best showing, but I think there's still a lot here to like. We're definitely going to put My Oh My on the playlist. If it's not already on there, it might be. But there's some. I still think Camila is a artist to be watching, because she seems to only be starting to figure it out. And I mean, when you're in a relationship with Shawn Mendes, can you blame her for not writing about anything else? He's very dreamy.
Certainly not. Also, Senorita already has over 1 billion streams in Spotify. It's been out like 5 months or something like that. Wild. Yeah, it says she's the number 3 artist on Spotify right now at 56 million listeners. Surely that'll go to number 1 next month once this album's counted. So
no doubt.
Megastar, no doubt.
Megastar.